This is Moving Mad in Medicine, hosted by Monel.
Hi, I am Monel, a doctor trying to make sense of medicine without losing myself in the process. And this is Moving Mad in Medicine, a podcast about working in a system that demands excellence, but rarely offers softness. Here we talk about the pressure, the ambition, the doubt, the quiet anger, the chaos, the relationships, and the questions we are not trained to ask out loud. This podcast is honest and reflective. Sometimes it is funny, and other times it is uncomfortable. If you're in medicine and you've ever thought of leaving it or reshaping it, or maybe just surviving it, come with me and let's talk. It's a special episode today. I've been the one talking all the previous episodes, but this time around, I'm going to let you listeners do the talking. Hear me out. Apparently, you guys really love this podcast so much that you leave feedback on various episodes, and it's so heartwarming. In the intro episode, I promised I would do a series of 5 episodes, but here we are on the 7th episode. I guess we enjoyed each other's company a little too much. From the listeners' perspectives, for those who left comments, sent DMs on social media platforms, and those who sent emails, they had a couple to say, and I'd love to share them here. First and foremost, I absolutely enjoyed the fact that you gave your feedback. So many people had so many things to say. And interestingly, you people like love, because that episode on love, there were so many comments, so many DMs, so many feedbacks, and I can't possibly share everything, but I'll just do 1 or 2, with what I have. In no particular order, right? I got a DM from someone on that love and medicine episode. And the person was like, in a nutshell, I believe that it's the responsibility of both parties to understand each other and ensure smoother communication. Men and women can meet each other halfway. Anyway, that episode was about man, doctor, woman, doctor, being busy, meeting each other halfway and whatnot. So I think that you people get the point this person is trying to make sure. I'm not going to shall you on top of it, so enjoy. But it's really nice. I got lots of feedback from this particular episode. Apparently, you people really like Lovu. Like, the response for this episode was overwhelming, and I really, really, really appreciate it. It's a nice thing to have experienced. I'm glad people like to hear what we have to say in Moving Mad in Medicine. So the next feedback I'd like to share was from the episode where we talked about, the intro episode in the first place. So in the intro episode, it was really one of the shortest episodes ever, and somebody said, if people knew the reality and madness in this profession before moving, they might never go into it. In all systems, there's chaos. After politics and church, the hospital is next. I'm anticipating your next episode, Monel. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this commenter. This person left a comment on YouTube, and it was nice to know that somebody was anticipating what we had to share then. That was like the first episode ever. And yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really hope that you enjoyed the subsequent episodes that came afterwards. Now, for the episode where we talked about different types of patients, that was the first episode where we had a guest, Dr. Safame. There were also lots of comments on it, but 2 stood out to me. The first one is someone who said, in a country where the masses are quick to shout negligence and are grossly uninformed about the challenges of being healthcare providers, this channel is really enlightening. So, first and foremost, I'm glad that you find the channel enlightening. Thank you so much. And you're quite right. There's gross misinformation or gross, ignorance on the part of the masses, and I wouldn't really blame them. But I'm glad that you think that this channel is enlightening. I do hope people get to be enlightened with subsequent discussions, right? So thank you so much for your feedback. That was also a very heartwarming feedback for me. And then somebody else on the same episode where we talked about patients' behavior, somebody said, really, really nice episode. Most people in Nigeria are frustrated. Actually, unfortunately, most people in Nigeria are frustrated. Nigeria is generally a frustrating psychological climate. It's sad that this frustration boils over from the patients onto the doctors trying to help them. It's sad that doctors are overworked and still face these things. It's sad, my dear. Pretty much very, very sad. But we get to live with it. And yeah, thank you for lending a voice. And I do hope that We eventually get to that point someday where there are neither frustrated Nigerians nor overworked and, tragedy facing doctors, hopefully. Something else someone said on one of the episodes about, this particular episode on Valentine, somebody put something that was so poetic and heartwarming. I'm going to read it for you. So the Valentine episode was pretty much complaining about how, let's call it complaining. The Valentine episode was pretty much discussing how a typical Valentine's Day for a doctor would be and what a doctor would rather have for Valentine's Day. So it's pretty much an episode where doctors were ranting. On that one, we had Dr. Ajiwa and Dr. Tiga. They were fun people anyway. I really enjoyed their company. So someone said on the comments that doctors celebrate the best Valentines, taking care of the sick, pouring out all the love to save lives. For me, it's the best way to celebrate Valentine. There will always be days to celebrate loved ones. Every day is supposed to be Valentine's Day. I quite understand the point of this discussion. However, what I'm trying to say in essence is that there's something moving about recognizing that doctors and all caregivers celebrate Valentine's Day every time they step into the world. Their gift is not chocolates or roses, but presence, compassion, and stubborn refusal to give up on the life entrusted to them. It's love in its most demanding form. Well done to all doctors. Send the doctor Valentine's gifts today. I don't know if anybody eventually did send the doctor Valentine's gift today, but this was a very heartwarming. I've used heartwarming too much on this episode. Oh, there. Anyway, this was a very nice comment to drop. I missed all the complaints and ranting. It was just something that made it more bearable, right? It was put in a nice way. Thank you so much to this commenter. I love these comments. And I think above all, I've had such a swell time creating the various episodes. Especially, I won't even lie, my favorite episodes are the episodes where I have guests. So maybe I'll strive to have more guests on every other episode, hopefully. Apparently, my favorite feedback was feedback from my mom. So I don't know how many episodes she has listened to. She listened to a particular episode and she just ran to my DM and was like, this episode is so interesting. This is so nice. You're doing great. I was like, thank you. And the next thing she was like, why is it not the video version? When are you going to be doing video versions? And I was like, don't worry, calm down subsequently. So yeah, it was really validating to know that my mom enjoyed listening to my podcast. So yeah, it was one of, if she listens to this one, Mom, it was one of the nicest feedbacks I got. So thank you so much. Hopefully I get to do visual episodes. In all, I'm very glad that you guys get to listen to what I say. I'm glad for every listen. I'm glad for every download. I'm glad for every share. I'm glad for every comment, every DM, every mail. In any way you engage with what I've done, I'm really thankful. I'm glad people enjoy Moving Mad Medicine genuinely, and I hope that I'm able to keep you guys enlightened and entertained at the same time while we discuss the madness that goes on in medicine. So, from someone who said she was going to do 5 episodes but eventually did 7, I believe I've tried for this series. So subsequently, I'll be bringing more juicy topics to your table. So look out for it and take care. If you've not subscribed before now, please do so. Keep moving mad in medicine. And bye. See you next time.